Every year around this time of the offseason, I continue to get the same question over and over again. Which true freshman has the ability to see the field early as a freshman in the fall? Of course, we saw what Brock Bowers did last year. An incredible season, obviously, and he's turned into one of the best tight ends in college football, actually the best tight end in college football. But even after a national championship season, I still think there are quite a few freshmen from this past 2022 class who could see the field pretty early on. Of course, Georgia is missing out on a ton on defense. They could have like 8, 9, 10 guys maybe drafted just on the defensive side of the ball alone. So there's plenty of opportunities for guys to come in and make their mark and maybe earn some playing time. So I've got about 5 guys who I think could see the field early in the season as a true freshman. So let's get started. The first guy I want to talk about is, of course, Branson Robinson, 4-star running back, Nick Chubb look-alike clone, workout warrior. The guy breaks a lot of tackles. He's got vision. He's got speed. He can move laterally. One of the best running back prospects from the entire 2022 class. Of course, Georgia will not have Zamir White. They will not have James Cook. They still have Kenny McIntosh, Kendall Milton, Daylen Everett. But Branson Robinson, if he's healthy, I think is going to get some carries and get some opportunities to see the field. Of course, one of these guys is going to be banged up, right? We've seen Kendall Milton be banged up here and there. Kenny McIntosh has dealt with a couple of injuries, nothing super severe in his Georgia career. And of course, Daylen Everett, who has come in late in games and really run the ball well and shown what he can do. He hasn't dealt with a massive injury just yet, but if you're a running back going against top defenses, guys who hit hard every single play, you're going to get banged up. So, of course, Georgia wants to rotate running backs as much as they can. And Branson Robinson, if he's healthy, I think he's going to get some carries. He can get some tough yards for them. I think he is great around the goal line. There's just so much to like about his game. He's physically built well. He can take on SEC defenders right now. All muscle, but he's got speed and vision and all of that. So he checks just about every box. He was a massive target for the Bulldogs, getting him out of Mississippi. And I think he is a guy who, on the offensive side of the ball, could see some opportunities. Again, if it's anything like last year where Georgia's blowing most of their teams out by halftime, the game's over with, I do think we're going to see plenty of him in the third and fourth quarter when the game is over. So Branson Robinson on offense is a guy I definitely am keeping an eye on. Another is Oscar Delp. Georgia has tight ends, right? They have Brock Bowers. They have Darnell Washington. They've got Britt Seither. Oscar Delp can play, all right? I know him as well as anyone. I saw him more than anyone in the industry this past year. 6'5", 225, probably might get to 230 in a few months. Dude runs like a deer. He's got big hands. He's a reliable pass catcher. He can block, but he's a guy who's going to make a lot of plays in the passing game. So we've seen what Georgia does with 2 tight ends, 3 tight end sets. They love playing tight ends, and that's when they're at their best offensively. So even though, Oscar's got a few guys in front of him, he's going to see the field. I have no doubt about that. I know what he brings to the table, and he is an absolute weapon in the passing game. There's a reason Todd Hartley only recruited Oscar in that class. That was his guy. They have a plan for him, and I think he's going to play next year. I don't know how much, but we are going to see some of Oscar Delp in the 2022 season. On the defensive side of the ball, Mykel Williams, there's a reason he was the one of the top pass rushers and one of the best overall players in the entire 22 class across the country. The dude just gets after the quarterback. He uses speed, power. He can go around the offensive tackle and come from behind and get to the quarterback. He can stunt and go inside and get between the tackle and the guard. There are so many different ways that he gets to the quarterback. He holds the edge in the run game. He's got size. He's built well. He's lightning quick off the ball. There's a reason he's a 5-star. He's a bright and shiny 5-star. He's that good. Probably the best overall player that Georgia signed in that 22 class. They're missing out on some edge rushers. They still have Nolan Smith off the edge. They still have Robert Beal off the edge. But, Mykel Sherman is a guy who can come off the edge and rush the passer. Xavier Sori, another linebacker who can come up and play. But Mykel is a guy who can play on the edge with his hand in the ground, possibly move inside and play that Jalon Walker position as well. He's only going to get bigger and add more muscle. But he's lightning quick off the edge. He gets after the quarterback. He can help stop the run. And I definitely think that he is going to see the field in some capacity as a true freshman. Now at linebacker, Jalon Walker is the guy, 6'3", about 220, 225, can get sideline to sideline, can get after the quarterback from his linebacker position. When that dude's blitzing and no one picks him up, he's going to destroy a quarterback. He's going to break some ribs and leave some bruises. The guy hits hard. He's instinctual. He's a coach's son. And I talked with a coach over here in this area who I believe is the best coach in the state of Georgia over at Denmark High School. And he coached or helped coach Jalon Walker down at the All-Star game a couple months ago. And he said, this guy does it all. If you're a Georgia fan, you have got to be excited about him. I expect him to be a multi-year starter at some point. Now, I don't think he's going to start as a freshman. There are just too many guys, I think, that are ahead of him. Now, you've got Tresman Marshall, Smile Munden, again, Xavier Sori, Mikhail Sherman, Jamon Dumas-Johnson in the middle. So there are plenty of linebackers who are just waiting for their turn, waiting for their opportunity. And with guys like Nakobe Dean gone, Channing Tindall gone, Quay Walker gone, a lot of the guys that we're seeing in the 2020 and the 2021 class are going to see the field. But Jalon Walker is a guy who, you know, if the guys in front of him aren't doing their job and they're not progressing and developing, Jalon Walker's going to pass them and he's going to see the field. And I think we're going to see a lot of him down the road and a little bit early on as a freshman. And then the secondary, Daylen Everett, another 5-star cornerback, great size, length, 6'2", knows how to run, but he's got ball skills. He had 8 interceptions before he got to IMG. I believe that was his junior season, but he can go and attack the football. I think there's plenty of opportunities for cornerbacks to step up and make a name for themselves. You've got Keely Ringo on one side. You don't have Darian Kendrick, though. I think Georgia has enough safeties and star guys, but they're going to look for some guys at cornerback to step up, whether that's Nyland Green, Kamari Laster, maybe an incoming guy from the transfer portal. Either way, someone's going to have to step up and take that starting role, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was either Daylen Everett or Jaheim Singleton. My guess right now is Daylen Everett. There's a reason Clemson wanted him so bad. There's a reason Georgia wanted him so bad and missed out early on in the beginning of his recruitment. When he picked Clemson over Georgia, they were ecstatic to get him back into the fold at the very end. And, you know, he's a guy who can play. I mean, he's got the size that Kirby and Will Muschamp covet. He's a guy that they know that they can develop and take to the next level. And when the ball is in the air, he is going to get it. So there's opportunities at cornerback. There's no doubt about it in my mind. And I think he is the most talented cornerback that they signed in this past class. So if the guys ahead of him, again, they're not doing their job, they're not stepping up and taking advantage of their opportunities. Daylen Everett, if he can, you know, continue to progress early on, I think could see the field early as a freshman. So those are the guys I've got my eye on. Who do you think is going to play as a freshman next year? There's plenty of guys who could do it. I want to know what you think. Guys, thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now, and I will see you over on DAWGPOST.